Starting to the top right, we have the Terran player for Team LGIM. 2 wins so far in this team match. Yes.
LGIM Yoda.
Playing really well so far today, especially in the second match. Now up against a different opponent though, different matchup. To the bottom right of the map, we have the Terran player for Team AZUBU.
AZUBU Supernova.
Third challenger. Looks very focused right now.
Lost his game yesterday, so he wants to redeem himself here as well. Ooh, I like that.
Zerg face, incredible miracle, and then that awesome picture that we've seen before.
That is so cool. That guy is sick.
Awesome picture there. Cool NVIDIA shirt too.
That was really well done. Oh my god.
How embarrassed are they? Not
no,
very.
they're fine. They're fine. She's holding. Look at that. Oh yeah. And a little bit longer, and then she's probably gonna dive. Nah, the cameraman has a bit of mercy here.
Yeah.
Oh, let's look a little bit at this Terran versus Terran. We had very technical builds in Heart of the Swarm in this matchup so far. Now the new patch, of course, affects the Hellbats and the Banshees. Supernova and Yoda already played games in the past.
They have. As you can see here in their history.
This, of course, includes Wings of Liberty as well. And let's talk once again a little bit about the statistics in this matchup. You will see a couple of statistics popping up on screen in a second. You can ignore those without a problem because they are for mainly the old game Wings of Liberty. But let's talk about Heart of the Swarm. Let's talk a little bit about Supernova, a player who has... Yeah, ignore that. A player who actually prepared for his matches against Maru, a Terran versus Terran that he had to play in the Premier League. He lost that game with a 1-2, but in general Supernova, who played 21 maps in Heart of the Swarm against Terran offline, has a 62% win ratio against Terran, which is actually like pretty good. He won against opponents like Keen, Ryung, Labyrinth, took down players like Salvation, Top and Hack. So really solid player in Terran versus Terran and a great win ratio. On the other hand, we have Yoda, who is not that experienced in an offline environment against Terran just yet. He played 11 maps in Heart of the Swarm and he won 7 of them. So also really good win ratio, 64%, but not the biggest sample size, and he only faced 4 different opponents. So Supernova definitely the more experienced player in this, and that might give him the edge in this game that he needs.
Yeah. I mean, we're talking about 2 of the best Terran players in the world, so definitely going to have high win ratios no matter what. It's just a matter of who they beat. We see the factory goes down a little bit faster here for Yoda, who has also commands on the high ground. So really similar openings with the reactor, and the way they got there was a little bit different. The faster gas, of course, for Yoda, but Supernova going down the same path gets his factory up just a little bit later. And with the reactor next to the factory, there's a lot of different things we could see. We could see just some regular Hellions coming out. We've seen a lot of players do this recently, like Bomber. And with the second gas up for Yoda, I don't think we're going to see Hellbats this quickly after the patch. It's just not as useful as it was before. Yes, you can still 3-shot the workers, but it's...
You know, we're talking about Hellbats. Did you catch yesterday what Bomber said? Like, Bomber, Owen and I met after the game when he was trying to drop the Hellbats on top of the army of Genius. And afterwards we were talking a little bit, and I'm like, dude, I'm really sorry that you lost the game. He just looked at me, he's like, Hellbats are shit. Those were his words. That's the only thing that he said. Like, he tried what he did the entire time, just dropping them on top of the army, and then he was like, dude, they're so bad. Like, I don't even know what to tell you.
Yeah, definitely a weird build that he did there. Genius read him like a book.
Yeah, he was playing him like it was the old patch, and then it would have probably even worked. There was a nice tweet that Mana did on Twitter where he actually said, "Thank you, Blizzard, finally a Terran player dropping Hellbats on top of your army doesn't destroy everything in just a second." So that was pretty cute. A bit of a shout out here to Grzegorz.
Well, at this moment in time, we have Widowmines being rallied out, not what I expected to see, versus on the other side of things, it looks like a very aggressive Hellion Marine push that may come across the map. He has a lot of Marines built up with that reactor. Here comes the drop. 2 Hellions, 2 Widowmines, no Marines whatsoever. And this is all about whether or not he gets spotted. And it barely does not by the Hellions, but he's going to run right into his opponent's medevac.
And there's the armory actually for Supernova, and at the same time now we have the both medevacs passing each other, so he knows already. Should have seen that at least.
Yeah, he moves his Marines and his first rallying siege tank, turns it to the side. And how much damage gets done here? Widowmine first, second Widowmine.
Yeah, Widowmine being burrowed, and we have the target. Bam! By SCV and Talion.
Yep, the second Widowmine getting some kills as well. So far, 5 Orcas killed versus 1. Only the scouting SCV. Very little damage done here by Supernova.
Yeah, Yoda on the other hand, he did a lot of damage already, and he's not done just yet. He's moving straight into the natural and burrowing the Widowmine once more. The second one will be borrowed in the main base, so takes it down with the supply depot. Really well done. What about the second one?
It got killed with the first scan, yeah.
Oh yeah, you're right. Okay.
And the Hellion, though, almost kills an SCV. He had to attack his own depot.
Oh, Blue Flame coming up now.
Yeah, Blue Flame, so it's going to be... Blue Flame for Hellbats means pre-patch Hellbats.
Yeah. To travel back in time.
They don't actually get a Blue Flame, though, do they?
I gotta hope no.
Because that would be really cool if they did.
Nah, I don't want to see that.
I want to see it.
Might be pretty cool. Yeah, maybe once, just
By the way, he has a lot of regular Hellions too, so we'll see blue on those at the very least.
Yeah. But Blue Flame is basically now the upgrade that lets you travel back in time and get the old Hellbats out before the patch.
Yep. These double drops here, well actually no, it's 2 Vikings. We'll actually beat the 1 Viking. That's how math works.
Should not talk about math, Wolf. You have a little bit of a history there.
Professor Wolf figured that one out. He was like, those 2 Vikings.
Professor Wolf, is that suddenly a thing?
Yeah. I'm working on my PhD in Vikingology.
I remember a bit of outtake there that we had in Wings of Liberty.
I'm a Viking botanist. I know exactly how to grow the Viking flowers.
Okay. I hope that's true.
There are over 6 species of Viking flowers. Some tried to be extinct. Blizzard tried to make some of them extinct, but they still come back every now and then.
Yeah, we'll see about that, I guess.
A lot of adaptations to the Viking flower. Here comes a Hellbat drop, this time with a blue flame.
Yeah.
And it is blue!
It is blue, okay.
Sick. I like that a lot.
I hate that already. No, you know, you see the Hellbat, you're already scared, and then suddenly you see the blue flame, and it's like, ah!
You know what? You know why I feel they didn't have the blue flame before is because it didn't actually make a difference how much damage they did like this. But now, you know, it's very clear. For example, Yoda knows that he's dealing with a drop where the Hellbats do more damage than the nerf that they had.
You know, when we actually talk about things like now they got the blue flame upgrade and why didn't they have that before? Maybe someone can finally explain to me why Medivacs do still heal Hellbats. That is something that I would really like to know. Well, that doesn't make any sense at all.
That's outside of my expertise, you know. Vikingologists, we don't really get into that.
That's good to know.
Did you know you can put 4 landed Vikings in a medevac? I know you know that, but a lot of people just learned.
Yeah. By the way, we have a bit of a worker lead here currently already for Yoda. So in terms of his economy, he is definitely set up a bit better than his opponent. That drop to the left side should actually not boost Afterburn into the natural, because there's already so much defense. There's a bunker, and we already have a 1 missile turret. I don't think that's going to survive very long.
No. Yeah, I don't think so either, especially with those Vikings. He's got 3 of them, and they're positioned in such a way that as soon as he sees it, he can fly over. A few siege tanks coming out here, and definitely the favor goes to Yoda and siege tank count at 5-1.
But not for long with the mech composition that we have for Supernova here. I feel he should be able to catch up. But Yoda has a pretty fearful army on the game.
Yeah, it's a more mobile army. And until that siege tank count gets buffered, we get these weird camera shots of that medevac.
Well, the medivacs are getting in position, and now he's moving in with both of them. Here comes the first one.
Drops on top of the siege tank.
Siege tank being attacked here right away. The medivac already down. The rest of the SCVs being pulled. He's going to lose the tank, but not more. In the middle of the map, we had another drop moving in, and that drop didn't do anything at all, going right on top of the army of Yoda.
Yep.
And actually, he didn't do too much with those 2 drops at all. That was not worth it.
No. Definitely not. 2 tanks at a time coming out here, like you said. Supernova going to equalize the tank count very quickly. And
Supernova has to do something.
He really does, because the 3rd base is landed, and if you're going for mech, you want to have that 3rd base secured. Yeah. You want to have 3 bases that you can get the gas from. You need 6 gases to max out in mech.
Exactly.
You can't do it all 4.
You need that pretty soon, and he scans and he sees the base, but he really needs to do something at this point, because Yoda, given time, is just going to take a massive lead in this game. He's going into his upgrade. Stim is already completed. He's straight going into, I think, his combat shield already, and he started his concussive shell. +1 armor is about to finish, and here comes Supernova now. He needs to pull that off. He needs to do some damage, and in regards to the army supply, we have both of them nearly on equal footing.
If the positioning is good, Supernova's army is definitely better. But if he gets caught off guard, if he gets caught on siege, and remember,
he's dropping. He's dropping with those medivacs.
Right.
He wants to drop on top of the bio.
He's got an SCV pull too. That's going to tank a lot of damage. This is everything here. The tanks are sieged and split. The stim is done.
He's dropping on top of the bio army, and immediately we have the pullback by Yoda. He's trying to make this happen. Most of the siege tanks are dishing out so much damage, and Supernova is dropping in supply like crazy.
Now the Vikings landing here. He drops like crazy indeed, but can he push through? He's pushing through at least this army, but a lot of losses for him here.
Yeah, the siege tanks are still there, but if he gets a few more Marauders out, he should be able to hold this. His base is still there, and there are only siege tanks left. He's sieging up. Maybe with a good position, he could even use those Vikings and land them on top of the tanks, but only half of them are actually in siege mode. The supply at this point is still in favor of Yoda.
Viking count right now 3-1 in right now in Yoda's favor. It's really important. Here comes the SCVs.
He's going into the SCVs, but we have two Hellbats. The Hellbats with the blue flame taking everything
This
apart.
is such a close game, Keller. The Vikings landing here trying to push this back. Can they actually do it? Here comes the bio, and it looks like he does hold.
He's taking out the last Hellbat. Now he's moving in again. The last tank goes down, and now we have 3 bases for Yoda and only 2 for Supernova.
Yeah.
With those mules, he should be able to pull it off.
Exactly. He's 9 harvesters behind, but like you said, with the 3rd base, triple SCV production, and the mules, this is going to be really important. This one Hellbat could actually kill these Marines. It's going to be close. No, gets the refinery at least.
That's the point when Supernova is going to freak out. He does not have that 3rd base. He knows that he is running out of time, and he's running out of time fast in this game.
He may actually just have to do an SCV pull. Speaking of SCVs, he's going to have to pull them at the very least away from this drop. 3 Marines and a Marauder, and they're going to stim and go to work.
Yeah, they have a lot of fun here. There's no defense in the main base whatsoever. The Hellbats are just now moving in, but we already have additional units being produced for Supernova back at home.
Targets down the reactor. He's not going to get it right away, but just damaging it here, it starts to burn, forcing a reaction. He wants to limit his opponent's Viking count because he has that high ground advantage on his 3rd base. If his opponent has no Vikings, he has to scan to get high ground vision.
Yoda is trying to hit his production, and he is hitting it hard. Cycle after cycle, moving out all those barracks and factories. We have the SCVs being produced. The +2 attack upgrade is nearly completed. With siege tanks in a sieged up position, I think it's going to be lights out for Supernova. Right now, we still have overall nearly the same supply, but Supernova, he is on a time here, and the countdown is running low.
Yeah. You know, this is the part in Super Mario Brothers when you only have 100 seconds left and the music starts going faster. He is really running out of time.
That's like the last mission of Wings of Liberty.
Yeah, exactly. Except he's going to lose when time runs out instead of win.
Uh-oh, that just doesn't look good for him.
Yeah,
he cannot catch up.
This drop can't do anything. He can't catch up. Worker count is already, you know, starting to be evened out a little bit. He's 10 harvesters down here, but look at that drop, does nothing. And I will say, though, the SCV production for Supernova has been a little bit better overall, even after that deficit. He's still up 12 harvesters, but the mules themselves already essentially make up for it.
The mules are the big story, and let's not forget that this also means that the army supply is just so much better for Yoda, and Yoda is not just sitting there and being lazy. Yoda is actually moving out.
The composition, though, is much better for Supernova. Don't forget that. And so many of these Marines are low on hit points. He's running out of medevac energy.
Not too many Vikings here.
Yeah, that's very true. These Hellbats are going to have free reign once they drop on top of those siege tanks.
Actually, not a single Viking.
Yeah.
And they are passing each other. Uh-oh, this is going to be an elimination race.
God.
There comes the drop on top of the siege tanks. He's moving in right away, and those Marauders at the front are taking out whatever they can. Here comes the drop with the Hellbats. Most of them are already gone. The siege tank's doing a little bit of damage, and the bio is also working quite well. And he's coming in from behind.
He comes for the flank. The mule is dropped here. And I think this is the end. He loses too much. Way too many units lost. Loses that barracks. Loses the medevacs as well.
He's running out of minerals in the main base.
And now he could he's just going to face this counterattack push. This siege tank walking to death.
Supernova is falling apart. GG.
Yoda with the 3 kill. You know, we are in the playoffs. I did not expect players to get these crazy streaks like we were seeing yesterday and today.
And it is time. We need Genius. The coach will probably really hit the phone. Genius, we need you right now. And Genius is like, dude,
I'm playing FIFA, man.
I'm playing FIFA. He's like, dude, you should talk me like crazy in the opening. I heard that, you know?
Yeah, he's like, I got GSTL on the other computer. You were kind of trash talking me, and I gotta say, if you needed my help, you should have asked me earlier. I already did my job yesterday. I'm playing FIFA. I'm chilling out.
Yoda definitely wiped the grin off his face. That's certain.
Yeah.
I mean, Yoda, oh my god.
Supernova.
They probably had a little bit of a ninja LGIM player sneaking into the AZUBU house and stealing the breakfast of genius.
I think so.
That happened. That happened. I can see that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you just look at this streak, Yoda is... When you look at these games, especially Game 2 and going into Game 3, you can see how a player can get momentum just from a streak. A streak gives you momentum.
And you know, the coach, Hero, was actually talking a little bit about, we don't know what exactly they fed Genius yesterday. I think they know very well, because they fed Yoda the exactly same stuff. So... a 3-kill by Yoda, not really what I expected here. A sound choice for the first player, but him killing 3 opponents and bringing his team in such an incredible lead, that is quite something. You know, we transitioned from AZUBU coach yesterday saying that this is the most important match for them. They weren't even thinking about yesterday. Yeah. They got through it, and then suddenly the opening interview, he says he's scared and he needs luck to win, and he really, really needs it right now because he's only got 2 players left, and Yoda is still the first player. You know, I said it earlier. LGIM, they won already in the regular season against AZUBU. Back then it was a very close game. We had a 4-3, but now we have already a 3-0 lead. And there are still players on the LGIM bench like MC. We have MVP there. Kango is there. Squirtle, First, Yongwa. It's like... that's like the who's who. That's like your first ball problem in StarCraft 2. Who do you send out next? And so far they didn't even have to send out a single other player. I mean, the LGIM bench is like a closet of trophies. Here is the AZUBU choice. It's going to be, in fact, Sleep. Another Zerg. They're looking desperate here, you know? Interesting. look at Hero. He's already laughing. He's like, yeah, we got this. You know, Sleep actually used to be on the LGIM team and lived in their house a long time ago, so they definitely have some history together. Sleep going to be the next player, and 2 Zergs already fell at the hands of Yoda, so this is the 3rd Zerg player that he is going to face. And let's not forget, if Sleep loses, it's probably going to be a 4th Zerg player coming out. That would be AZUBU, of course, being the last player for his team then in this best-of-9 format that we have in the playoffs. Yeah. So... I feel this choice is a little bit odd. It is odd. Well, this is kind of an uh-oh moment here for AZUBU. They need to figure this out. Guys, we are heading into our second break of the day. We'll be back in a few minutes with our next match. It's game number 4 between LGIM and AZUBU. Sleep is up next against Yoda. Can he turn things around? Or will Yoda get his 4th kill? We're going to find out soon. Stay tuned and see you in a bit.
Just as valid, I strive for balance. My